I got this wig from Nadula hair, and it's there. I think it was a 14-inch Yaky straight, mimics natural hair, and I did get it cut up some, so right now it's probably about 10 inches, maybe 12, but I did cut a couple of inches off the 14, just to make it, hit right here at collarbone, but not go past my shoulders. So I'm just gonna prep this wig. Gonna go out today to Lowe's, and just depending on, how things go, I may film my run to Lowe's and the things that I'm gonna get from there. Been doing some renovations to my bathroom, and I need to get a few items to finish up. I think I have a video that I'm gonna post of where I actually painted in here. It's been wallpaper for the past 20 plus years, and so this is the last room in the house that actually needs renovating. So I'm going to do some upgrades in here. But yeah, I did paint, and the paint I used was Valspar Elephant in the Room, and it's like a light gray, as you can see in the back of me. I'm not done. Have to change out hardware and things like that, but I'll do a final reveal once I'm done with the renovations. So basically all I did was take some Carry Care styling wax stick. You can find this at any beauty supply store. It used to be hard to come by, but now you can just find it about anywhere. I think Walmart and Target even sells it now. But just to lay down any flyaways, and I'm taking, it's a straightening comb that I got from Amazon. And we all know about the straightening combs coming up as little girls and the grease. And I'm just laying out any flyaways on top. And I'm not gonna have to do much of this wig because it's already kind of got that bob look, but I want to make sure that both sides have that kind of bevel in. So I'll start with the bottom of this, and like I said, this is gonna be a real easy, quick bump style. I'm just pinning this hair. It's really full, you all, which is what I love. I hate getting a wig and it's skimpy or see-through, but this is full root to tip. And I'll put the link to this wig in the comment section if I can. I'm not sure which platform I'll post this video on, but if I post it on YouTube, I'll definitely put the links there. But I may just chop it up into a quick TikTok video. But these hot curlers are really good. They're not real expensive. I think I paid about 59 bucks on Amazon, and they're Hot Tools Professional. And again, I'll also link these in the down below. But they get up to, I'm sure they get hotter than this, but I have them set on 375. They may go to 450 or 480, but they get really hot. And I could have even broken out my titanium flat irons for this wig, but these should do, the ceramic. I recently got my natural hair blown out and trying to nurse that back to health. I was using the Babe Bliss titanium flat irons faithfully, and those bad boys will fry your hair. I was told by the stylist that my hair is actually too fine to be using the Babe Bliss titanium, and she told me to switch to ceramic. So I'm really enjoying these. They get the job done. I'm used to that pin straight blowout look, but again, I'm trying to nurse my natural hair back to health, and so I switched to ceramic. But like I said, they get really hot also, and as you can see, they are doing the job for this Yaky straight wig. So I'm just taking that piece, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to put like a little bump in it, just to, not a curl. Ain't nothing worse than an over curled bob. So you just want to put a little bump in there and just grab pieces. They don't have to be symmetrical. But, okay, I got hair falling everywhere, so I'll put that up. Alright, and sometimes I use spray, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm in a rush. So I'm not gonna spray each piece. And plus I don't want it to be stiff at all. So I'll turn and see the back once I'm done. Show you the back. If I don't forget, but you can see how it's taking and dragging that flat iron down just to give it that little bump. So yeah, so today is Sunday, and my pastor's out of town, so I didn't travel today for service. He's actually at another church. We had a guest speaker, but you can probably hear him in the background. They live streamed at the church that he's at, so I was watching that. But yeah, so it's just your typical Sunday. Gonna do that Lowe's run. Try to get something accomplished in this bathroom. Yeah, I was looking at a couple of videos because I was trying to figure out if I wanted to get a whole new vanity countertop set to go in this bathroom, or would it be easier to try and upfit the one that's in here. And I saw some really good ideas online to save some money and to kind of bring your countertops back to life. One of the ideas I saw was using some tub and towel paint to get that nice high gloss ceramic look. So not sure. I'm gonna look at a couple of more videos and research that a little bit more before I decide whether or not I'm gonna just go ahead and demo this one and completely take this one out, or if I'll go ahead and do that tub and towel paint. But from so far from what I've seen, the results look really good. They say that it's really strong smell to it, but I will ventilate mask if I do decide to go that route. Yeah, and any like straight ends you see, that's okay. You can do one final pass through once you get basically each section curled, and just grabbing hair and bumping. This side already kind of has a bump to it. I don't know, when it's cut, it still kept a little bend. Okay, yeah. So for y'all early Sunday morning church goers, how do you spend your Sunday afternoons? I know for a lot of people it's kind of like a rest day before the work week starts. I didn't do much yesterday other than, like I said, paint this bathroom. So I don't want to waste 2 days, just not doing anything. So, yeah. I know some people watch football. I'm not a big football fan. I did join my football fantasy at my job this year. I never played because I didn't understand anything about football. I got into it a little bit when my daughter used to play in the band in college, and I was kind of understanding it, but I didn't stick with it. So, but surprisingly, you don't have to know jack squat about football to play fantasy football. And so I'm really invested in it, and even learning the different positions and all that good stuff. So I'm glad I did join, and I'm competitive anyway. So I dropped a player this morning who was actually out for injury, and so I'm glad I saw it in time because he's supposed to play his team later today. So I had time enough to drop him or move him because he's a good player. Move him down to my bench position, and then I pulled in another player. I forget who, but that'll help me snag some more points so that my matchup this week I will hopefully be close or have a chance of pulling through. But yeah, that's been kind of fun this year. So I think they've convinced me that the fantasy football is fun, and you really don't have to know anything about football. So, and I have a girlfriend, she watches the game and she understands it all. So I'm not that girl. I never played or cheered in high school. When football season came, for one, it was super cold. So, and I was maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. So I wasn't trying to freeze my little tail off. And then for two, like I said, I didn't understand football. It wasn't exciting to me. So I would always cheer basketball season and sit football season out. So since I'm off and I'm not traveling this Sunday, I may actually tune into one of my team's games live today and watch in real time. Ain't it amazing how things your interests change, as you get older and, start exploring more things or exposed to different people, it just opens you up to new things. So we'll see. Who knows? I may be at a football game live, cheering super loud for my favorite player. We'll see. Yeah, I think this bob is coming out okay. Let's see. Okay. And I like the Yaky texture because it mimics natural hair. I hate when it's like that silky texture that looks like plastic. I can't with those wigs. But this one looks just like the texture of my hair when it's blown out. And I got a wig similar to this. I think it was in July when we had our convocation. And I got that wig from, I guess it's pronounced Eunice Wigs or Unice Wigs. But that wig shed like nobody's business. It looked fine the first couple of days, but I had to style that hair for that wig for 4 nights straight. And I wore it like a messy bob and not a straight one like I'm doing now. And I think I had more hair on the floor and the countertops than on the wig by night 4, so I opted not to go back with that company. So we'll see how Nadula holds up. Looked at a couple of videos, and then they're also on Instagram, and I was liking the results and the reviews that I saw online. So we'll see. But y'all, it's coming together nicely. You see, and it's not hard to flat iron either. Because nothing's worse than, not being able to, your hair not holding heat or taking heat. I've had some track or bundle hair that would not curl. And that's just money down the drain. So, as you can see, I like how it's still moving. So, all right, so to this side, and y'all, I'm gonna rock this at work next week or this week because I have a breakdown underneath and I have a hair appointment coming up, so I'm not gonna try to be doing anything like natural hair. Just give it a break until I'm able to get my natural hair, my protein treatment, and all that good stuff done to my natural hair. This wig is gonna have to carry me through next week, but I think I can deal with it. And if it turns out to be a nightmare, trust and believe I will update you all on this unit so that you will be aware and not purchase. Ain't nothing worse than, listening to some reviews or some paid sponsors and they raving about a product, or we're talking about hair, they're raving about a wig, and then you purchase that same wig and it's just a nightmare. It's just dishonest, and people work too hard for you to be making these videos and not, one, being truthful up front, or two, if you do think that if the wig is good in the beginning and then it doesn't even hold up a week or 2 weeks and you don't come back and update people, I don't like that. So if I have an issue with this, I will let you guys know. And like I said, it was not real expensive, so I'm not expecting it to be like some of the, what is it, RPG show, I forget the name, her giving hair, some of the more expensive vendors that I've purchased wigs from. I'm not expecting it to be on that level, but still, I still paid, I think, $100 for this wig. So my reviews will be based on it being a cheaper wig. If I need to come back and update you. Like that Eunice wig, that was a disaster. It needs to be taken out of production. Because if you can't even get me past 4 nights, then you shouldn't be, in rotation, getting anybody's corns. Okay. And I'm just rambling. I may speed this video up. If not, and you've stuck with me through this entire segment, God bless you, because I will speed up a video in a minute. You know, unless the person, you know, their personality is just off the chain. I'm just like, what are they going to say next? But, you know, that's not me. I basically am rambling right now. And I just started doing videos. So as I do this a little more, you know, I'll find my little niche and my audience and cater accordingly. But right now, what interests me is beauty. And then, like I said, I'm doing some DIY projects. And I'm having fun with that because it is truly trial and error. Trial and error. You hear me? But you would be surprised at the things that you could learn just from looking at some YouTube videos. You know, there's no excuse for being ignorant in 2025. There's just a wealth of knowledge out there. You can basically learn how to do anything, you know. You can change your tire if you want to. So I'm liking it, y'all. All right, and I'm just going back through with a pass through, just making sure everything is laying nice and flat, and it looks so natural, y'all. Okay. And now I'm not going to do any baby hairs on this because this is supposed to be one of those wear and go, not wear and, you know, I'm still fussing with lace and baby hairs. And no, a wig is supposed to be easy peasy if you ask me. Now I still got to do as much work with this as I would as if I was wearing my natural hair out. And you can put some bigger earrings on, usually with hairstyles that cover your ears. I try to wear bigger earrings or bigger jewelry, but we're going to do this. And y'all, I like it. I love it. Look at that. It's so see-through. Because I did spray some lace spray. Let me see if I can grab that. I don't know. But this is what I use. It's the Ebon Tinted Lace. And so I just sprayed that lightly around there because the lace was a little bit lighter than my complexion, but it's fairly thin lace, but this just helped it blend seamlessly into my scalp color on my forehead. All right, so I'm going to put on just some basic makeup, nothing fancy, but I do look a little right now, so I'm gonna just spruce that up just a little bit, and you'll see how basic this is gonna be. I'm not even gonna grab a lot of stuff over here. All right, let's see if I can pull this out my face to do this. Okay. All right, so I have oily skin. It's a blessing and a curse. Well, I don't want to say curse at all because nothing about me is cursed. But it's good, meaning that the oils keep me wrinkle-free, you know, and keep me at least looking hydrated. But when it comes to makeup, I have to be strategic about what products that I apply on my skin, because if not, I will end up looking very, very greasy within a couple of hours, and I don't like that at all. I thought I had some makeup wipes in here. There's some oil blotting. But I don't see those. So the only thing I'm gonna do is just take a face wipe and just lightly blot any excess oils that may be in my skin, just to take away some of the shine. But I do buy those oil blotting sheets, and they work perfect. You can even use those after you put your makeup on because it won't mess your makeup on up. But I love those sheets. But this works just fine. It's just these face towels. They're sturdy, and I just took in some of that shine that you may see just to dull it out a little bit. And so the next thing I'm gonna do is just, like I said, this is gonna be very, very basic. So I'm gonna use some primer, and this is by Smashbox Minimize Pores. And I just like to take that on the area that I'm gonna put makeup on, because I'm not gonna do a full face, because I'm just running out to Lowe's and probably the grocery store. So I like to put that on under my eyes as well as on the cheek area. Just concentrating on the area that I will be putting makeup. All right. Okay. And up to you. You can use more of this on other areas of your face. It'll help keep your skin dry, but I don't like that chalky look on um, places on my face that I'm not going to put any makeup on. So I'm just doing it under the eye and the cheek area, because that is the only place I'm going to put makeup on other than the lip. So after I do that, then the next thing I do is I take some concealer, and this is the Born This Way Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and it's in the color Butterscotch. And so I'm gonna take that and I just line the eye like that, because I'm not gonna do foundation today. At least I don't think so. Well, I've been saying the whole time I'm not gonna do a full face, so we'll stick with no foundation for this. Right. But I will put a little something on the nose. I'm not even gonna do my forehead. All right, so all right, so I like to go in with a concealer brush, and this is the Morphe brush, the number M132, and basically I leave the eyes last, and then I just go in and I blend in the nose bridge first, because the longer you let the concealer sit, it will, you know, show up that much more. So I always leave the eyes for last, because I want that to be really the area that's the brightest on my face. So you just blend that in. Okay. And then just fill that in. Same for the cheek area. All right, so and you're just brightening up your face a little bit. Okay. And then after I do that, I'm looking at this mirror also, because I've been looking in the camera, but I want to make sure the lighting is not tricking me. Just looking in the camera. All right, so then I go in, and sometimes I spray setting spray on before I do the eyes, because that just seems like it just helps it long term increase less. But we're not getting fancy for this video. So as you see, I'm just filling that in. Blending it up and out. I'm gonna come back in with some contour. And so it's not really a science to, at least not my makeup routine. I've gotten better over the years, but definitely nowhere to the point where I can teach any kind of makeup class. So I just show you what I do and what works for me and gets me through the day. Not looking like I just woke up and rolled out of bed. Okay. And that looks pretty good. All right, the next thing I do is I take some concealer. Well, it's not concealer, it's contour. And this is by Fenty Beauty, and it's in the color Espresso. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the color, Espresso, number 5. And so the only thing I do is just, that there. I already have high cheekbones and sort of a contour there anyway, so this just accentuates what is already there. Sometimes I go in and add the contour here to bring some tint back in this area, but because I didn't do any forehead brightener, I'm not even going to do that. And then plus my hair will be over my forehead, so I'm not going to waste product. It's not going to be seen. It's not windy outside, so we're just focusing on this area, brightening that area up. So after I do that, I take this flathead brush here. Oh, I forgot. I did want to do the bridge of my nose. So this just helps pull out that brightener or that concealer that you put on the nose bridge. And so I take this flathead brush, and this is by, and I'm probably saying this wrong, but it's Japanese. And anybody that knows makeup or knows brushes, they've seen this brush in your beauty supply store. So I'm going to use this, and there's no number here, but it's just a flat, dense brush, and it's perfect for blending in that nose contour because it's stiff. And I just pull that and drag that up. And I'm going to go back and blend that in a bit with that contour, that concealer brush again, because you don't want any harsh lines. So, and I just drag that and just kind of, I'm doing like if you were erasing something, just pushing that product into the nose bridge, but keeping a straight line, because the thing is, I don't want to get in trouble here, but I'm not trying to get a Caucasian nose or what other people say. We'll go there. I'm just trying to highlight this focal point of my nose. So I'm not really trying to thin out my nose. But I guess I am doing this. But since you see how that highlight is just standing out there. So I do the same here. And don't nobody be coming up under my page coming for me with these techniques, because I told you I'm doing what works for me. And I never claim to be Miss Maybelline. All right, so. All right, and so, and I'm just doing that. Do it until you kind of work that makeup in, and you don't want to spread it out too much because that'll look weird. Like you've been bruised or something. So you want to kind of keep it in the area and then work it in. And we're gonna take that same contour brush and I just soften up the edge around that. That's how you make sure you don't have that harsh line. All right. Okay. And just softening up the edge because we don't want harsh lines. Okay. And that's pretty much it for that. The next thing I use is I like this new blush. I'm super excited about it. I got this when I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. I went in Bloomingdale's and actually got a little mini face makeover or trying out some foundation. But they have these new cream to blush, cream to powder blushes. And this is in the color Granite Profound. I don't know if you can see that, so I'm not even gonna flip it, but it gives you such a natural blush. It's not heavy, but I love it. And so the only thing I do is, and this brush is Fenty Beauty. I thought it was a number up here, but it's their blush brush, and you'll see. So I just go right in on the temples, and it looks so natural, you all. I love it. When she added this, it just took my makeup to another level, and it looked so nice and natural, almost like I was flustered. And so, and then I do the bridge of the nose and just come in and just, you're adding some color in there. Some people put highlight, and you can still do that, but again, we just doing basic and want to look as effortless or as natural as possible. We're not going out to dinner. We're doing a Lowe's and grocery store run. All right, so that's basically that. And so okay. And eyebrows, I didn't do anything with my eyebrows because I was hoping that they would go unnoticed since I got this bob that's going to be covering up much of my face, but I will go in and just put a little shading in. And this is by Too Faced. They're super fine brow detailer. And so I have scarce eyebrows, and at some point I am going to get my eyebrows permanently done. I have been researching that, but I want to definitely take my time before I commit to that, because some eyebrows I have seen, they look like tattoos on the face, and I do not want that. I want it to look natural. I want it to look like hair. I don't want it to be the first thing that you see before you see me. So I've been looking at a couple of people on Instagram and their work, and so I'll decide soon on which service or which person I'll go with. But that is something I am not rushing because I want to make sure that I do my homework first. All right, and so I'm gonna put, not gonna do lashes, but I am going to do this. Ooh, you all, what does it say? Trooper Black mascara, and it's by KVD, and I got this out of Ulta, and I love this stuff. It gives you the look of Falsies without having to take time with any kind of glue. As you can see, this is already, you know, doing what it should do. Okay, I love that. And I don't know if you can see the different spots straight on, but I'm going to turn to the side and see if you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. But this stuff is amazing. I'm going to do the other eye. And I love it because it does not clump. Sometimes I'll use the Lancome eyebrow boost, but you really don't need it with this mascara because this stuff, it coats heavily, but like I said, it doesn't clump. All right, so we'll do that. And I always like to go in with the bottom lashes also and just do a little there. It opens your eyes up. Let me shut my mouth. I saw this little Instagram video where this girl was talking about, she did how you think you look putting on mascara versus how you actually look. And I'm sure a while ago y'all saw counted every teeth in my mouth, every tooth in my mouth. All right, so there we go. All right, so the last thing we want to do, well, almost last, is I'm gonna do these lips, and I think that it is the most important thing because doing your lip really just takes it up. If you do nothing else and then you have some gloss on your lips, or you have your lips done, it just makes you look like you tried. So the lip liner that I'm using is from Morphe, and it's in the color Trendsetter, and this is a really nice brown, and I just lightly line my lips. I'm gonna look over here. Okay, and I just line that like that. And this is Tom Ford lip balm. It looks like sunlit rose is the color. So I got this also. Me and a girlfriend, we went into Bloomingdale's while we were in New York, but this came out of the second one that we went in, and it was actually a little gift that she put in the bag with my purchase. So it's a lip balm, but it has a nice little nude tint. Usually I wear my MAC Um, and I forget the color of that one. Let me see. My MAC. Ooh, looks like Velvet Teddy is what I usually use. And it closely resembles that lipstick. So, but this one is so much more smoother, in my opinion. So it gives you that ombre look. And it's the perfect combo. You can also do the trendsetter. I think I have another video where I use a trendsetter, and then I do the NYX butter gloss. This is also one of my favorites. But this can be, it's a little more thicker and kind of like that. It's just thicker. So if you want something light, definitely I love this Tom Ford lip balm. But it still has that tint, same color tint. And so the only thing I do lastly with my lips is I take, and it gives a little bit of sheen with highlight, is the Fenty Beauty, and it's their balm sticks. These are really, really good. And this is in the color glazed donut, and the blazed donut, not glazed, blazed. And so the only thing I do is I put, and you see that gives it like a highlight, and then you there to kind of blend that in, but it gives you that pop to otherwise basic lips. And so lastly, I know I have said lastly a million times, and this may not be my lastly, but this is the Morphe, it's not the translucent, it's the Banana Rich powder. And so I use this for under my eyes because I clearly forgot that step. So the only thing I do with this is I pat it, and then I always like to come back and get some of the excess off before I actually put it on. And so you're just gonna put that underneath, and I'm just lightly patting, and that helps to keep your concealer or your concealer from creasing. Also gives it that matte look, sort of like a covering. It just ties everything together. And I just do the same over here. All right. And as you can see, that makes a world of difference. All right, so I have this bare forehead, and like I said, I know my hair is going to be covering most of it, but I do want to still come back in with a powder, overall powder over my whole face, because that is going to just eliminate shine, and then it just ties everything together, and it's like your finishing look. And so this is Fit Me in the color 330, and I've been using this for a couple of years. I had a girl to come in and do my makeup a couple of years back when I was going to do a head shot for the website, my company's website. And she introduced me to these Fit Me products. And so it's inexpensive. You can buy it at any drugstore. You can Walmart, anywhere, Walgreens. But as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. But it works really good, and it matches my skin color. And it just takes that shine out, and it will tie everything together. Places that you didn't put makeup, it'll still look like that. You don't have any holes, so to say, in your makeup or your face. Okay, and that is that. And I'll put a little up here on this lace. But that's pretty much that. And I would do, if I was trying to keep this on for an extended amount of time, I'm not. I'm just running out, and I'll be back in for today to finish up doing some work here in the bathroom. But, oh, I would put on, this is the All Nighter by Urban Decay. This will keep this look for even longer if I planned on making this a day, but I'm not. So I'm gonna pull this back out, and as you can see, those pimps, they were so disrespectful, but I still have my curlers on, so I'm going to just take those bends and crimps out that the clips did. Lesson learned. I'm pulling my hair back next time. I will not use those. Okay. And there we go. I love it, you all. Okay. All right, so this is the finished look. Easy breezy. I didn't have to throw a hat on today. And there we go. Not gonna put any oil on this. And that's it, you all. I'm gonna go and get dressed, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.